This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at ramseysolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity. Sydney's going to kick us off in Huntsville, Alabama. What is going on, Sydney?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
So I think this is right up George's alley. My husband and I are in a disagreement about how much to contribute to retirement. For a little background, we have about $420,000 between both of our retirement accounts right now, and then $160,000 in non-retirement savings. We don't have any debt besides our mortgage, and then we also have started college funds for our children.
Wow.
And he thinks that once we reach a certain point, and that number in his mind is about $250,000 per person, that we can take our contributions down to 1%. And I am not for that at all, of course. But yeah, I'm just trying to.
Why 1%? Why not just go to zero, man?
Well, I guess his thought is that we're still contributing something. But when he does like the, compound interest calculator in 30 years, it's still like $4 million or something like that.
Okay.
And he thinks that's going to be enough.
Wow. Well, it sounds like 15% is not going to damper your lifestyle at this point. If you just invest 15% until the house is paid off, then you can invest even more beyond that or give more. What's the harm in that? It sounds like you guys have a great income.
Well, that's another factor is I am kind of wanting to stay home with our kids. So,
all the more reason to invest, is it not?
In my opinion, yes. So I'm trying to win the argument to him.
Do you kind of want to stay home, or do you all the way want to stay home?
So all the way, but okay. So my company, they contribute 15% of my salary, which is about $120,000, to my 401k, regardless if I contribute anything. But I also contribute 15%. So that's a big holdup for me. Is I'm getting 30% of my salary every year into my retirement. And so I feel like I'm giving up a huge
Why are you
chunk.
contributing an extra 15%? If they're already contributing 15% of your own money, that's the same as you contributing 15% of your own money, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, so what if you dial back to 15%? Was he beyond 15% right now with his income?
No, so he's probably, he just started a new company, so he's actually not able to contribute yet. The past few years we've maxed out, and then just this year, so he works in the mortgage industry. So obviously things have slowed down a lot. So he dialed back his contributions to that 1%.
Well, that's my big thing is we don't know what 30 years from now looks like. We don't know if he's going to be able to work 3 years from now. We don't know what life is going to throw at us. And so I like the idea of just investing 15% until we get the house paid off. We can increase it there. And we've had very few calls where someone said, man, I hate that I invested 15%. We have too much money. Help. That's my favorite problem to deal with. But we get a lot of calls of people saying, hey, we're 62, we have to work because we thought our retirement was going to do this, but then our account did this, and we didn't realize that our funds weren't in the right spot. And there's too many variables that I don't like about just not investing or investing 1% because you feel like you can ride it out.
Right.
Can I ask you, what is he going to do with the rest of the money?
So if I did leave, if I quit working, all of our benefits, family benefits, everything are on my side. And with his company, the benefits are, it's like triple what we pay. So it would kind of even out to dial it back to that 1%.
So what does he make?
The insurance. It varies. I think this year will be probably around $250 maybe.
Just on his side. So if you stay home, household income is at $250.
Yep.
With just a mortgage. What's left on the mortgage?
$280.
And what's the non-retirement funds for, the $160K?
We just sold a piece of real estate, and we plan to buy some land and eventually build. So we're kind of just holding it in our high yield savings right now.
Why not pay down the mortgage?
We also have a brokerage account that we may just move it there too. I don't really know yet.
Okay. Well, I would be focused on getting rid of the mortgage, which is only going to make your life staying home even easier, way more margin, and I would continue investing 15%. And one of the reasons out of many is we don't know what 30 years from now looks like. We don't know what inflation's going to do. We don't know what taxes will be. And so I would rather have a bigger pile of money well, it's not hurting your lifestyle here. We're not talking about 60%, it's 15. And you guys have done such a great job already, so I applaud him on that. But now's not the time to let our foot off the gas. So
you would even put that towards the house, even if we plan to move in like the next 2 years?
Well, are you going to keep the house and buy the land? Would you sell the house when you get the land?
We would probably buy the land, build, then sell the house.
Okay. I mean, I don't like the idea of you guys having two mortgages. If you get the land, are you going to be able to pay for the land in cash and build in cash?
Yes. Not build in cash, no, but we would pay for the land in cash. Okay.
There might be a weird little period there where you got the mortgage still, plus you've got a new mortgage as you try to build. So I would consider that as well as part of your near future plans. But I don't know that I can convince him to invest more. He can crunch all the calculations he wants, but this is all, conjecture at this point. And so I would recommend you guys sit down with a third party, like a financial advisor, and have them walk you through big picture. Here's where you're at. Here's where you're telling me you want to go. Is there a gap right now? What's it going to take to get there? And he might say, hey, you're 110% on track. Let's scale back. Or he might say, I'd continue down this path. But two knuckleheads on the radio may not be able to convince him. That's the problem.
No, I appreciate it.
Well, here's the biggest convincing. 6 years ago, I was 3 jobs and 2 states away. And if you had told me 6 years ago that I would be a YouTuber or that I'd be sitting on the radio next to George in the largest call-in finance show on planet Earth, I would have laughed at you. And so I think it's easy to be like, hey, I don't want to do this principle now because I got this thing that's going to happen in 5 years. And what's pretty cool is I didn't say, hey, I might want to be a YouTuber someday, so I'm going to quit going to college. I'm going to quit showing up to my day job. I'm going to practice YouTubing. I kept doing the day-to-day principles that I knew, which is to continue to go to grad school, continue to write good papers, continue to show up in my job. And then when this opportunity came along, it was cool because I had the foundation. And like George said, like no one's ever called us and been like, man, I just put too much in retirement. I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
But our show only exists because people they have some scheme that in 5 years I'm going to buy the land and I'm going to get the goats. I'm going to do it all in cash. And so I'm not going to put anything in retirement. You don't know if you're pregnant with twins tomorrow and everything in your life changed. You see what I'm saying? So just keep playing the chords in a 4/4 time. Just keep doing the things that you know are right. And then on top of that stuff, then opportunities show up because you just kept doing the right thing day in, day out. It's diet, nutrition. It's just the same boring thing over and over again. And then suddenly 10 years later, you're a millionaire, right? It all works out. So keep just showing up, keep showing up. And I know he's smart and wants to hack his way to it, but it's just not possible.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To learn more about how to plan for retirement, visit RamseySolutions.com/retire or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.